Show me the money. My name is Sean Larson. I'm a real estate broker, and that is exactly what home sellers want to say to home buyers. So let's talk about how are you going to pay for that home today. Most of the time in most real estate transactions, there are going to be two ways that people pay for homes. One is they're going to have a bucket full of cash, and the other is that they're going to get a mortgage. So when you go home shopping, it is going to be in your best interest to be fully prepared to show the seller how you're going to pay for it. Because in strong markets, which ours usually is, our market, even in slower markets, our market still stays pretty strong. You essentially want to convey to the seller that you are fully prepared to buy their home, assuming it meets all of your conditions. Well, the seller is ready to say, we are fully prepared to sell you our home as long as you meet all of our conditions. And one of those conditions is that you have the money to pay for it. So what you have is, if it's a cash purchase, if you have that bucket of cash in the bank, what you're going to want is what's called a proof of funds letter. And that's going to be a letter from the bank, and it simply states on official letterhead and their form, it's going to say you have the money that is liquid and accessible and you can use it to buy that home. So you are going to want to have that to present with an offer on any home that you're considering buying, because you want to tell them up front you are fully prepared and ready to go. You don't want to get into this exchange about, do you have the money? Well, I can get the money, or I can get you the letter. All of that is causing delay in a negotiation. You want to keep negotiations smooth. So let's just jump over to the case of a mortgage. In the case somebody is borrowing money for a purchase, which is extremely common, what you want to do is you want to be fully prepared going into the offer. Just like the cash deal, you want to be prepared to show the seller that you don't have the money, but you can get it. And sometimes there are even mixtures of there. Somebody is paying a substantial amount down in cash, but they're still getting a mortgage. So there's a hybrid of these, of course. But if you're getting a mortgage in there, what you are going to want is a pre-approval letter, not a pre-qualification letter. There is a difference. Usually a pre-qualification letter is an extremely brief analysis of who you are, and maybe you have a job and you look pretty good to go move forward. Pre-approval is going to be more in-depth look at you, and it is kind of a more official look at your status and that you can move forward on a home. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be more to the lending process after that, but the initial look is more in-depth. So a seller wants to see a pre-approval letter. They don't really want to see just a pre-qualification letter. So what you're going to do is you're going to get that from your lender. You are going to keep that on hand. You want to do that really before you even go start looking at homes. So go ahead and look at them online, look at them from your couch in front of your TV, but you really need pre-approval before you even start going looking at homes. Because if you find the home that you want to move forward on, you don't want to have to then do what I mentioned a second ago, is go to the seller and say, oh, well, we'll get the letter. We promise we have it coming. You are not painting a good picture to that seller. You also have the possibility that another buyer is going to come along. And let's take that example. Say, for instance, you're in a strong market and there's a steady flow of buyers coming in. Those buyers are fully prepared. You haven't gotten your letter yet. Okay, say there are several offers put in on a home, and it might not be at the same time. Maybe they're staggered a little bit. Who do you think the seller is going to look at? That's right. The seller is going to look at the offers that are fully prepared, ready to go, ready to pull the trigger. And some of that is because they are ready to go and they have shown them they can get the money to buy that house. But there's another aspect too. Somebody that comes fully prepared is very attractive to a seller. It conveys to them that the transaction is going to go smoothly because they are working with people who are prepared, people who have a plan, people who have an objective and want to get it done. So if you go into a deal and you're ill-prepared and you don't have everything it takes to move forward, that doesn't paint a good picture to a seller, and they pick up on that very quickly. So my recommendation going into any home purchase is get fully prepared. If you've got the bucket of cash in the bank, get a bank letter. If you are getting a mortgage, get a pre-approval letter from your lender, and we may even tweak that. So the amount of the pre-approval letter, have that for what you're obviously qualified for, but the target home price that you're looking for. we may tweak that as we go. That might depend on how fast we can access your lender, because we might have them tweak the letter so the letter reflects closer to the amount we're going to offer. So for instance, say it reflected $1 million, but we're only going in at maybe $500,000 on a home. We might not present that letter that said you were qualified for $1 million. You're still not going to pay $1 million for that $500,000 house, but you might not want the letter reflecting that big of a difference either. So we might have that letter adjusted as we go, and that'll depend on how fast your lender can turn those out for us. So initially, just get a good letter that targets the price point that you're looking for, and then we can kind of tweak from there. So have all of that ready to go. This is one of the preliminary steps to home shopping. It should be done before you even step foot in a house to go look at it. So my name again is Sean Larson, real estate broker. Happy to answer anything about real estate, and if we can help get you rolling in pre-approval and things like that, give me a shout on that too, because I've got lender connections who are rock solid. They know our market, and they can set you up, and they know what sellers expect to see. So thank you very much. Have a super day.